Before the Olympians ruled the heavens, there were deeper powers, vast, ancient, and nameless. Tonight we descend beyond Olympus, to the first gods who shaped existence itself. Before stories could be written or sung, before light and shadow had meaning, the Greeks imagined a world not of gods as we picture them, but of principles, forces that breathed order into formlessness. In that deep beginning, before Zeus or Hera, before even Titan or Muse, came the Primordials. They are not merely characters. They are the architecture of being itself, the first sketches of cosmos and chaos, of earth and sky, of the boundaries that would make a world. Our story begins, appropriately, with nothing at all. This was not a moral idea, it was a metaphysical one. To the Greeks, the world was not crafted from nothing by a willful god. It unfolded from chaos, the way dawn unfolds from night. The poet's task, then, was not to explain why existence happened, but how it coheres, how the world became the shape we know. Out of that fertile emptiness rises the next great presence, Gaia. Guy-U is one of the few divine names that has never fully left human speech. Even now, her name is whispered in scientific circles as the GUYU hypothesis, the notion that Earth behaves as a single living system. Long before science gave the idea form, the Greeks personified that wholeness as a goddess. Gaia is the ground, literally and symbolically. She is not just soil, but the stability that allows anything to stand. From her body grow mountains and plains. From her breath come the mists of the morning. She is both the field and the mother. In Hesiod's vision, Gaia emerges after chaos, broad-breasted, to serve as the firm seat of all things. She creates Uranus, the starry sky, equal to herself, to cover her on every side. Already the cosmic family takes shape, earth below, sky above, and between them the space where life unfolds. Their union is the first great act of creation. From it come the Titans, the Cyclops, and the hundred-handed ones, creatures of immense form and force. Each of them expresses an aspect of the world's structure: time, light, power, and endurance. But as with all Greek stories, creation is never simple. From Gaia and Uranus, we learn the first lessons of conflict and balance, the tension between fertility and restraint, freedom and enclosure. Uranus, or Uranus in Greek, is the dome of the heavens, the clear, endless sky that wraps the world. He is not a ruler in the Olympian sense. He is a presence, vast and shining. Yet he becomes the first tyrant of myth, and in that tyranny lies the beginning of cosmic drama. When Gaia gives birth to her children, Uranus despises their wild, powerful forms. He hides them away inside her body, sealing the mouths of her caves. The earth groans under the weight of her imprisoned offspring. It is the first image of a world pregnant with possibility, unable to release what it holds. From her distress, Gaia fashions a sickle of adamant and asks her children to act. Only one, Uranus, the youngest Titan, dares to strike. As Uranus lowers himself to embrace Gaia, Uranus cuts away his father's generative power. From the blood that falls upon the earth, new beings are born, giants, furies, and nymphs. From what is cast into the sea arises Aphrodite, goddess of love. The Greeks, ever attentive to pattern, saw in this moment both pain and creation. The violence between heaven and earth was not mere cruelty. It was a mythic reflection of separation. The sky must lift away from the ground for light and life to fill the space between. From division comes definition. When Uranus withdraws, the world becomes spacious. His role recedes, but his presence remains above, eternal and untouchable. Every night his stars remind us of the first boundary drawn, the difference between what is above and what lies below. These myths are not just stories about gods. They are the Greek imagination's way of explaining existence itself. Chaos, Gaia, and Uranus are less personalities than principles. Structure and substance, limit and expanse. Together they form the grammar of the universe. Chaos provides the space. GUYU provides the matter. YOORUNUSS provides the reach. From them comes everything else. The Titans will personify the elements of time and movement, Oceanus as the encircling waters, Hyperion as the light of the sun, Rhea as the flow of nature. The Olympians, much later, will express human-like will and emotion, but beneath all of them are these first powers, silent and enduring. For ancient audiences, to tell of Gaia or Uranus was not to describe distant deities, but to speak of the world's living structure. When the Greeks looked at the land and sky, they were not gazing upon impersonal matter. They were perceiving divinity, forces so vast that only poetry could contain them. The Greeks called these first gods protogenoi, firstborns. They appear in multiple traditions, in Hesiod, in Orphic hymns, in philosophical cosmologies that would follow. Each retelling reshapes the order of creation, but the same pattern endures. First the gap, then the ground, then the heavens. In Orphic thought, chaos is sometimes replaced by chronos, time itself, entwined with ananke, necessity. From their union emerges the cosmic egg, which splits to reveal Fahnes, the first light. These are not contradictions but expansions, poetic meditations on the same mystery, how being arises from non-being. Even philosophers took the pattern seriously. Empedocles, in the 5th century BCE, proposed that the universe was governed by love and strife, forces of attraction and division echoing chaos and ehros. Plato, centuries later, would describe the cosmos as a living creature, shaped by a divine craftsman who brought order to disorder. The myth had evolved, but the structure remained. Gaia's influence extends far beyond her first role as Earth. She becomes a moral and maternal figure, invoked in oaths and worshipped in local cults. In Athens, sacrifices were made to her under the name Ge Ku Ro Tro Phos, Earth the child nurturer. She was honoured in times of famine and plague, as though the health of her body mirrored that of her people. In some myths, Gaia aids the younger gods against tyrannical powers. When Zeus battles the giants, she gives birth to them from Uranus's blood, but also sends dreams and prophecies that warn of their fate. She is both source and seer, the mind beneath the soil. In others, she resists the overreach of mortals. The earth itself may shake or open when boundaries are crossed. To violate Gaia's balance is to invite ruin, not because she is vengeful, but because nature reclaims what is misused. Even in her silence, Gaia remains a presence. The Greeks never imagined her as leaving the world. She is the world. When one stands upon stone, climbs a mountain, or feels the weight of fertile soil, one stands upon the body of a goddess. Uranus's story is less about intimacy and more about distance. Unlike Gaia, he is rarely invoked in later worship. His name becomes a concept, the celestial vault, the measureless expanse. Yet his legacy lives in the sky's role as mirror and mystery. The Greeks saw the heavens as both map and memory. The stars were placed by gods or heroes to mark great deeds and tragedies. In that way, Uranus becomes the canvas upon which myth writes its remembrance. Each constellation is an echo of the first sky, the first pattern drawn across the void. To the philosophers, Uranus also embodied perfection, the sphere that moves without effort, the eternal contrast to the changeable earth. This idea would echo through the centuries, shaping not just myth but mathematics and astronomy. The music of the spheres, the notion that the cosmos moves in harmony, begins with Uranus's silent turning. As the cosmos fills with form, chaos seems to recede. Yet the Greeks never erased it. In later philosophy, chaos becomes the unformed matter beneath reality, the potential that underlies all change. Even the gods, it was said, arose from that primal opening. To the Stoics, chaos was not a void to fear, but a principle of renewal. Just as order emerges from disorder, destruction returns to potentiality. The universe, they taught, cycles endlessly: fire, dissolution, rebirth. Chaos is the beginning and the end. In mythic thought, this idea carries a quiet comfort. What falls apart is not lost. It returns to the womb of possibility. The Greeks saw in chaos the truth that the world is never static. It is always becoming. These stories, though vast, were not only about the gods. They taught the Greeks how to understand themselves within the cosmos. Humanity stood between Gaia and Uranus, creatures of Earth who could look upward. We belong to both realms, the soil that feeds us and the stars that beckon us. In the Orphic hymns, the soul is described as a spark fallen from the heavens, temporarily housed in the body of Earth. Life is the dance between those poles, the yearning to rise and the gravity that keeps us grounded. To live well, the ancients believed, was to honour both, to remember that our bodies are Gaia's, but our vision is Uranian. Even rituals reflected this duality. Offerings were placed on the ground for chthonic deities, poured into the soil as libations to the earth. Others were lifted toward the sky in smoke and song. Each gesture acknowledged the bond between below and above, the same bond first forged by Gaia and Uranus. What makes these ancient stories enduring is not their literal detail, but their capacity to hold mystery. The Greeks did not believe that chaos or Gaia existed in the way that you and I do. They believed these names spoke of something too large to grasp directly. Chaos is the experience of the unknown. Guy-U is the comfort of foundation. Your Uranus is the awe of the infinite. Together, they form a spiritual geometry that still speaks to us. Science has replaced myth as our primary language of origins, yet the questions remain the same. What existed before? How did something emerge from nothing? What binds matter to mind, earth to sky? We might phrase it differently now, using quarks and dark matter instead of titans and heavens, but the wonder remains. The ancient poets gave that wonder shape, not as dogma, but as poetry. Each of these first beings teaches a different aspect of creation's balance. Chaos teaches that beginnings are not orderly, they are fertile confusion. Creativity, like the cosmos, begins with openness. Guyu teaches that life needs ground, a base from which to grow and return. Stability is not stagnation, it is the condition of flourishing. Your Uranus teaches that vision requires distance. To see the whole, one must step beyond the immediate horizon. When the Greeks told these stories, they were describing not only the birth of the world, but the structure of human understanding itself. Every idea, every art, begins with the same three movements: the opening of imagination, the grounding of thought, and the reach toward the unknown. The primordials fade in later myth, replaced by the vivid personalities of Olympus. Zeus's thunder, Athena's wisdom, Aphrodite's grace. These are the faces of divine order made human-shaped. But behind them stand the first powers, silent and immense. Even Zeus, in his most authoritative myths, inherits Gaia's council and Uranus's throne. When he overthrows Uranus, he repeats the pattern of separation that began with Uranus's fall. The cosmos renews itself through conflict, yet always within the same design. Later thinkers saw the primordials as metaphors for natural law. The Stoics saw Gaia as the material principle, Uranus as the rational fire that pervades it, and chaos as the substance from which both arise. To the Neoplatonists, they became emanations of the One, the unfolding of unity into multiplicity. But to poets and worshippers, they remained what they had always been, the quiet pulse beneath all being. Modern readers may find in these myths a strange comfort. To imagine chaos as the origin of all things is to accept uncertainty as natural. To imagine Gaia as the earth that births gods is to see sacredness in matter itself. To imagine Uranus as the sky that withdraws is to see space as gift, not emptiness. The Greeks did not tell these tales to escape the world. They told them to explain its rhythms. The cycle of planting and harvest, storm and calm, birth and decay, all mirrored the divine pattern of emergence and withdrawal. When night falls and stars begin to glimmer, one might remember your Uranus. When the ground trembles or yields new life, one might remember Guyu. And when the future feels uncertain, one might remember chaos, not as threat, but as the fertile unknown from which new worlds are born. In later traditions, more primordials join the chorus. Nyx the night and Rebus the darkness, children of chaos, weave shadow across creation. Ether, the bright air, and Hemera, the day, bring light. Pontus, the sea, rises from Gaia's depths. Each adds a dimension to existence: light and dark, sea and shore, time and change. But Chaos, Gaia, and Uranus remain the first triad. They mark the transition from formlessness to form, from potential to pattern. Without them, no Titan or Olympian could follow. They are the unseen scaffolding of mythic time. The Greeks imagined these beings not as ruling, but as being. You could not pray to chaos or touch Uranus. You could only live within their reach. The sky's vault, the earth's solidity, the mystery of beginnings, all were their temples. There's a curious humility in these myths. They do not claim the world was made for humanity. The gods precede us and nature continues beyond us, To live well is to live within the balance they established. This humility is not despair, it is wonder. The Greeks did not flinch from the vastness of existence, they gave it names, faces, and stories. By doing so, they transformed the incomprehensible into something that could be honored. When a farmer turned soil, when a sailor read stars, when a philosopher spoke of first principles, they were each in their own way